Cafe Politics. We're so glad that you're here with us. And I'm Angela Birdsong, affectionately known as the Medicare Lady, with my co-host, Miss Mary Geraci.
Hello, glad to be back. We got corona-sized and thrown off the air a little bit, but we're working on bringing you our stellar
We
show.
got our gloves.
We're all covered.
Well, we're doing what we can to
Yep.
stop the spread.
We're still working.
Okay, we are so delighted to have one of our outstanding candidates to our state house, and that is Miss Julie Jenkins.
Hello, Julie.
Hello! I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Julie, you have been out there in the community. We know of all the wonderful things you've been doing, so we're going to discuss that. But
Yeah.
of course, we always start with your unique story. Everybody wants to know where you were born.
Well, I am actually from the Motor City, Michigan, and I moved down to Motown. Yes, the Supremes, all of them.
Hey,
Don't ask me to sing,
I'm
though.
related.
Oh.
I'm related to one of those by marriage.
Darn,
Wow.
there's three of us here. We could break out into Stop in the Name of Love
Okay, Mary,
before you break my heart. No,
Mary.
give me a microphone.
keep your day job.
All right
Thanks.
then.
But I moved down here to Venice High School with my parents, and I went to high school down here. I went to St. Leo University down here, right down the road. And then I left school after we graduated. I worked for Congressman Buddy McKay, who is a supporter, and I love him.
Yay.
And went to Washington, D.C., tried to save the world. I moved to California, San Diego, San Francisco, and that's where my travel industry started my career.
Okay.
And then we ended up moving back, my husband and I, to Tampa. And now, 2 kids later, 2 rescue dogs later, I'm back in the area and been very active in the community. And now I'm running for the State House District 60.
All right. Well, now tell me this. What is your degree in?
Political science.
Political science. Okay.
Aren't we all that get into politics
Yeah,
somehow?
that's great. I mean, political science degrees go really far when you're a politician.
Okay.
Law
you-
degrees, stuff like
Yes.
that, social working degrees,
So you knew from a young age this is what you were destined to do.
You know, from a young age, I've been very active, whether I was raising money for muscular dystrophy,
Yeah.
going on disability tours with my grandmother, helping the disabled. So I've been very active in the community, and this isn't something new for me. I'm not just running and all of a sudden I'm cleaning the bays or raising money for our schools or being a neighborhood association president. I've been doing this for years.
So what initiated the jump from community activism into becoming a politician? What was the big thing that catapulted you into this event?
I think as most of us are just sort of dismayed by the state of affairs right now. And so I figured I'm going to take it to a bigger arena to help more people. We're going to send a mama to the house. And if you know what mamas do, we're not this side, we're not this side. We're going to sit down and we're going to work it out. We're not going to walk away from the table.
Well, if you want something done, just give it to a woman. She'll
Yeah,
handle it.
we're doing. Look at everybody nationwide. All
Yep.
the female nation
Yep.
leaders
Look at
just
all the
winning.
African American
Yes.
women mayors.
In the House,
Yep.
the mayors, the
that have
governors,
stepped
the
up.
Senate. I mean, they're killing it.
We're rocking
We're
it.
getting
And
Absolutely.
if everybody knows the PTA moms, watch out.
Don't make them
That's
angry, right? You don't want to make one mad.
No.
So,
Yeah.
what informs you from the past? I'm sorry I'm jumping on all the questions. I'm very excited to have you here. What informed you from the past? You have been in the neighborhoods. You worked with the Peter Claver. You raised money to save that school.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
your work with St. Peter Claver Catholic School.
Absolutely. And some of the
Because
community activism.
That is a very important community partner in Tampa.
Absolutely.
Yes, I actually got a call from the diocese, and they said there was a school, an African American school, and actually St. Peter Claver is one of the oldest African American schools in the country, located right downtown in Tampa, Florida.
And he may also be the only black saint the Catholic Church
Yeah.
has. So even
I
then,
think
you
you're
know, to
right.
honor his memory as being a black saint and a black priest during his lifetime.
Right. So actually, two nuns from the academy founded this years ago because they believe that every child should be given a chance, which I believe the same thing. So when I went in to talk to the principal, they were in the red, 80 students. They had chalkboards, now they have whiteboards, now they have a science lab, now they have a computer lab, now they have a pavilion because African American children can also get skin cancer too. So I don't care whether you're red, white, black, or blue, every child deserves a chance. So I got to know a lot of people in the community. Yvette Lewis, who's our NAACP president, who does great work. Marvin Knight with the fish, his fish store.
Oriental Fish Market.
Yep, Candy Lowe with the Black Business Bus Tour. And, it's like, it's family. They're family too, just like my family in South Tampa, West Tampa. So that's one of the things that got me going there. And what I did is I took my sales and marketing background from my corporate sales, and I went out to those businesses and I told them the story. And Tampa is a very giving city, as you all know. And guess what? Everybody gave back because they thought it was a great story and a great, school.
Yeah.
And the children. So very pleased to be part of it.
They have educated so many Tampa
So many.
Yes.
and people really do well once they leave Peter
Absolutely.
Flavor. It's a great foundation.
Catholic education is a great education. A private education is a great education.
You know who was one of our most famous graduates?
No.
Prissy from Gone with the Wind.
Really?
Oh, that's right. She is from here. That's correct.
Yeah, Prissy and Blanche Armwood and a lot of African American people got their start at St. Peter Claver.
Butterfly McQueen. That was
Butterfly
her name,
McQueen,
her name,
yeah.
Butterfly McQueen.
Right, Prissy was the
Yeah,
name
yeah,
of
yeah,
the,
yeah, got it.
but that's the right one, right
Yeah,
name.
she's
Movie,
a Tampa native.
movie buff. Sorry. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. That is an amazing story.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of amazing people have went through St. Peter Claver because they had that opportunity, and that's how it should be everywhere.
Now, you also have a background with the Children's Board, which helps our communities too.
Yep, I've got a corporate sales background and then a small business background. And in between, for about 10 years, 5 years, I worked at St. Peter Claver. And then I graduated from there, I would say, and went to the children's home, abused, abandoned, neglected kids, and raised money for children in our community.
Wow. And
Now, that's located in Lutz, right?
No, it's actually in Tampa, but it's really close to Oldsmar, but it's still considered Tampa.
Okay. And who actually runs that? Is that a city, county, or
It's
individually owned?
it's individually. We do get funds from the state
Okay.
and local, but they do great work.
How do the children end up there?
Well, the children end up there because either A, they were abused, abandoned, or neglected, and the court has taken them away. Or if they're homeless, they actually have a pregnancy center there, right there, that, kids that are underage,
Okay.
some very, very young. And so, it's all education. So they teach the children who are children, they're going to be a mother, etc., different things such as that, or however long they have the child. But there's about 10 campuses housing on this. It's a little less than about 100 acres. A very nice area.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been raising money in our community for a long time for different.
For great causes.
Yes.
so parlaying that into current situations.
Yes.
Tampa has a lot on its plate right now. The mayor's buckling down with the national spotlight on her
Mhm.
to help heal the police department, to come up with some ideas for community policing, turning it around, working with communities. The coronavirus, we were talking about small businesses. Tell us about what you were discussing about your Saturday venues with small businesses, because people have lost a ton of money. They're not regaining. They didn't get their money back for being unemployed. I mean, there's a lot of turmoil right now, and you're just jumping into that frying pan.
I am jumping in the frying pan, Mary. You're right.
Yeah, it's a frying pan.
Politics, like everything else, is not normal. Nothing is normal. What's up is down, and down is up. Black is white, white is black. And so what we've done in our campaign is we actually started Small Business Saturday every Saturday. Not that we started the terminology of it, but what we do is we have been highlighting small businesses since the pandemic started, because I had friends who own business that were like, hey, Tampa, we need help. We gave you your charity gift card. We sponsored your baseball team.
Right.
We did your yearbook. So what we did, social distancing with our masks on, we would highlight those businesses weekly, probably about anywhere from 20 to 25 a week. We do one video a week, and it's just turned into this thing that Republicans, Democrats, Independents highlight us on, that we're doing because they so appreciate being noticed and that they're, socially distancing, they're wearing their masks, they've got takeout, but it was all geared towards our local Tampa venue. We've got a great video where we talk about it. If y'all ever have time, take a look at
Yeah,
it.
give us the address.
It's
When you say a video, are you making a video specifically for each business?
Now, one business we
For
pick
the
out.
event, yeah.
So, like, we do a restaurant one week, we do a frame shop another week, we did a meat place, we did an art show, like an art place that they do kids that they bring in. So when businesses have started to open up, like last week we did Hot Works, and the reason we did Hot Works is because they
What
had opened
is
up the
Hot
gym.
Works?
It's the newest fangled thing to do when you're working out. Mary, have you heard of Hot Works? It's like the sauna.
Yeah,
Mary's into all that
it
stuff.
took after heated yoga.
Yeah.
I went into a yoga studio and it was 104 degrees.
Woo!
And it didn't do me well. I have a pre-existing condition and I almost fainted. But it's taking after working out in the hottest temperatures possible. So.
Yeah, and so they're doing really well. So we just do different businesses once a week, and we've been doing it, since March? So we've got a few, and people highlight us, the businesses, hashtag Jenkins for Florida House. It's worked out really well. We've got airtime on TV, we've got print on it, so we're very, very happy that it's taken off, but it's also hopefully helping businesses just a tiny bit.
And let's not forget, where can we see this? Give us a website, give us an address, please.
www.votejuliejenkins.com and look for the Prius small business video. It's kind of humorous, I should say.
Good.
Spell that, Prius?
Prius, my car.
Oh,
P-R-I-U-S.
like the car. Okay.
Okay, give me that address again.
www.votejuliejenkins.com.
So, on the local level, you're really getting out there, you're giving people opportunities, you're helping folks. What's going to happen when you get to the legislative level? These people did not get checks. They did not, a lot of them didn't get any money for being unemployed during this time. Everything in Tallahassee is a mess.
Who are you running against?
I am running against Representative Toledo.
Jackie Toledo. And why do you think you're going to be better than Jackie?
Well, for one thing, I've been active in the community for many years. People need things done, they do it. I've raised over $100,000 for our public schools. I've been cleaning out the bays. I've been neighborhood association presidents. And this has been going on for about 25, 30 years. So this isn't something new for me. I've been doing it, living it, and breathing it. And so I'm going to take that initiative to Tallahassee, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. In reference to the unemployment situation, this is crazy. This needs to be taken care of. My opponent said she wanted an audit, just like they're talking about now doing one in Washington for the state of Florida. Well, she's been on the audit committee for over 4 years, and now she's thinking about doing an audit?
So
This should have been done before.
She want to audit
She wants to audit why we've got the problem with our
the
unemployment. Right.
system,
We know we've got the problem. Let's straighten it out.
which has become a national issue.
Yes, yes.
Because
Yes.
in the Senate, Mr. Schumer said that he wants to do a audit and
Right.
find out what the heck is going on. Why you can't get an unemployment check in Florida?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to say, and I was trying to say earlier, is using all the acumen you've collected through your normal social activism, social justice activism, and charitable work, you got a hard road ahead of you when you get to Tallahassee. And these issues, tell me some of the issues you feel that are critical that you're going to work on.
Well, first off, when we have a special session that should be called, like, remember last year when we had the gun violence in Texas and Ohio?
Yes.
Okay, we called for a special session, and guess what? It was a partisan issue. They didn't come back to the table. The same thing happened this year. They called for a special session, the Democrats. The other side did not come back to the table. We've got unemployment issues. We've got vote by mail issues. What are we going to do about that? We've got possible hurricanes coming. We've got schools that are supposed to be opening up with coronavirus. What if a hurricane hits? What are we going to do with those people that do that? So my whole initiative is I need to go to Tallahassee, because people, if we don't start thinking now, we're going to have the same thing for another 20 years in the legislature. Nothing is moving, but we're going to start to get people in there that are going to work and get the job done.
Vote blue.
But you know what? If we continue to say, oh, you know, it's been this way for 20 years. This is the reason people like myself and others get out there, and we are going to run, and we're running hard. I'm working 7 days a week. I'm giving 120%. I'm on the phones a lot more than being out because of where we're at with Corona.
Yeah, that's got to be
I did
difficult
see you on
campaigning during
Facebook,
Corona.
Yeah.
You're on Instagram.
Yeah.
You're still
Yeah.
getting out there.
You know what? I feel really good. I get people that come up to me all the time and say, Julie, you're everywhere. Well, that's what they were saying before this all started. So I hope we're doing it right. If there's people out there that don't know me, definitely check out my page. Call me. I'm more than willing to
What's
talk
your
to you.
page?
VoteJulieJenkins.com.
You
And
know,
your
you
phone
got
number.
A nice little mask on there. What's your
Oh,
mask say?
Jenkins for the Florida House. And this was actually given to me by one of our heroes that we highlight. We highlight heroes about twice a
Who
month.
gave that to you?
Mary Ann Jorgensen. And Mary Ann Jorgensen
No.
has made over 1,000 face masks for the healthcare industry.
Wow.
And so we highlighted her, and she was on TV, and she's making them for the Navajo Nation, the Indian
Yes.
reservation. But she's just a wonderful person, and we call her local heroes. Hashtag Tampa doing good.
Great. Give us
All right,
your
now
phone
say
number
that
as well.
to
Let's not forget that.
813-731-9600.
Say it again, just in case someone's writing it down.
813-731-9600, and that is my cell. So
Wow.
feel free to call me.
Awesome. So you're moving ahead. What is your plan? I mean, you got to go step by step by step. What's next? What are you doing to get moving forward with this?
Well, one thing I do want to mention to both of you is we qualified by petition.
That's wonderful.
Good for you.
And there's
How many
only,
petitions did you have to get?
we had to get 1,400?
I signed one.
Yeah, I did get yours, thank you. Buttercup Drive.
Oh yeah, that's my
That
nickname,
is
Buttercup.
quite a feat, under the circumstances.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
During Corona.
we made TV on that, and my opponent didn't qualify. So I was the only one that qualified in our race. So we were very pleased on
Are
that.
you talking about your Democratic opponent?
No, my Republican
Your,
opponent.
okay, your Republican opponent.
They tried, but they didn't succeed. But we started in January. She started in September, and we started right out of the gate. Getting it. And so that's it's shoe leather, hard work, and great volunteers.
So
So
she qualified by paying the money.
yes,
Okay, so you all both are qualified to run in this race.
she hasn't qualified yet. I'm not sure. The incumbent has a little bit longer time.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and
Okay.
so-
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either.
I have qualified, as most of our Democrats in the area. We're very happy that, but like I say, there's only 3 in the county. Gwen Myers,
Right.
Jessica
Running for,
Harrington,
Hillsborough County
Yeah.
Commission.
Jessica Harrington running for against another.
The,
Jamie.
Jessica Harrington is running against the dreaded Jamie Grant,
Yeah.
the maker of the amendment for a poll tax.
Right.
And
And we've had both of them on our show. So
yes, I
we're
know that.
supporting.
So
Left and right.
we're very proud of that. And what else
So
did
you
you
said
say?
Gwen Myers, you said
Jessica Harrington and myself.
Yeah.
And you,
Three
okay.
And we're the only ones that qualified.
Oh,
So
by petition.
Yes.
you're on. You're ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
What's your next plan? I mean, you it sounds like you're just getting started to move forward.
Mhm.
And what are some of the plans? Are you having fundraisers? Are you going to have places people can go? I know we're limited
Yeah.
because of Corona. So are there safe environments? What are your plans to move forward?
And what
So
we're-
people get to know who you are.
Right. What we're doing right now is primarily we're doing postcards.
Postcards.
We're writing a lot of letters, and I got a lot of volunteers doing that for anybody out there that would like to do that. We're also doing well checks. We call people up to check on them. That's all. This is the Julie Jenkins
I
campaign.
work with seniors, so I love that.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of seniors that we've helped. I actually got a very nice note from a 96-year-old woman.
Wow.
who said, Julie, thank you for helping when I needed help going to the store for her.
Okay.
Which is fine. I
Right.
have no problem doing it. And she says, you're the type of people that we need in Tallahassee. So Louise, look, I hope I get to Tallahassee and help you more. And one other thing that we're working on too is we're going to start small venues like Robert's Meat Market. There's
Yeah.
a function on Friday
Okay.
from 6 to 9. Bring your mask. We're socially distancing. They have outdoor venues. And they're going to have a fish fry. And so they invited me. It wasn't something that we were involved in, but I'm going to go and meet a lot of people. So,
How much does that cost?
you know what? I don't know what they're charging for their meat, but you can get other things other than fish. So it's a very
Where
menu.
when again?
That's this Friday,
I
the
love fish
19th.
fries.
Yeah, the 19th. And he's got really fresh meat, so you get some, live. It's going to be 6 to 9. And I'll be there, and there'll be a bunch of other people there, some other vendors that are going to be in the area. So that's the start of it. We had one venue that we did right before the pandemic. It was with Jim Webb, and that went wonderful. And one other thing, for a Democrat, we've raised a good amount of money. January, our first coming out of the gate, we raised $44,000.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, for
That
them.
is impressive.
So right now, in 6 months, we're about 80 grand that we've raised. And the last person that ran this raised about that much in about a year. So we're hoping to get about 100 by the end of the summer, if not more, hopefully.
That's wonderful.
So if folks are interested in finding out more about the fish fry, they can go to your site. That's right?
Yep,
Okay.
GoJulieJenkins.com.
Good. They can find out any information they need there. You may see me there because, first of all, I love to eat and I love a fish fry. I'm a Catholic, so every Friday we have
Every
the fish.
Friday. Well, we
fish
would love
stick-
to see you
fish
both
stick
there if you'd
Friday.
like to come.
Now, just for our audience members, what exactly are some of the, what does the state rep do?
Well, what a state rep does, and this is what just kind of irritates me at times, what you're supposed to do is, your only job for the 2 months that you're up there is make sure that the budget is taken care of,
Okay.
and the different various laws that you come in with, 5 different ones that you're going to try to push through on the House and the state side is taken care of. So some of the initiatives that I want to work on, other than health care, gun safety, our environment and education, is I would like to see schools have a predetermined, when children come in, eye exams. People don't realize this. We have a lot of failing schools that are D's and F's, and guess what? Once they come in, an organization comes in to get their eyes checked, those schools come up to A's or B's because the kids couldn't see.
Wow.
So it's sort of like when you take your kids to get shots.
Right.
This is something I think has to be standard. Another thing that I'm very
Not
interested
to interrupt, but
Yes.
didn't we used to have that done back in the day? Did we ever have eye exams in the 60s and 70s?
You know what? They may have, but they've stopped it.
Yeah,
And now,
I was a military brat, so I
Right.
think they did come in and check. We did the weird teeth thing, and they brought in, where you bit down on the red thing to see if you have cavities. And I think we had eye exams. If I'm not, I may be mistaken, but glad they're bringing that back. Something so simple, right?
something so it's like Small Business Saturday, something
Yeah.
so simple. So we'd like to bring that back into the schools, and it would help our schools at the same time with our kids. Another thing that's very, very important is, as you all know, the gun issues that we've been dealing with in schools. There is a lot of trauma that these kids, particularly the younger ones, and even up through high school, like post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Yeah.
We're going to work on these so-called gun drills. It's like the fire drills. And there's 24 going on right now. We would like to see those cut. In
Are you saying 24 per year?
yes. So this has never
More
happened.
than one a month.
Right. So this is the reason a lot of kids are traumatized by it. So we'd like to, bring that back.
I actually was working as a substitute, a full-time subbing job there for a while after one job had ended. And they didn't let me know it was a drill because I wasn't on the email. In the middle of class, I heard lock the door, lockdown. I heard the PA, and the kids lay down on the floor. I had to back up onto the door, and I'm standing, making sure everything's locked away from the windows. A young lady started crying, and everybody's like, shh, shh, shh. We're crawling around on the floor, everybody's late. And then the door behind me, starts to jiggle. And I thought, oh God, the perpetrator. I'm thinking it's the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
Not that
Oh,
it's
so
the
you
drill.
didn't realize it was a drill.
Well, they never told me it was a drill because they didn't have my email, and
Right.
I was flipped out. We all calmed down after that, and I'm
Imagine
like,
doing that twice a
take a
month.
break. I couldn't even
That is
imagine.
enough to make anybody
That
crazy.
Yeah.
that scared the heck out of me, and I'm fairly fearless, and I'm an adult. And the little girl just started crying. The whole class was just really upset.
Yeah, that's terrible. And that's the reason the Parkland, committee, after that massacre, that was one of the issues that they brought up. So that's something
Yeah.
that definitely needs to be looked at. But anybody who knows me, and that's the reason I have so much support in the area with not just Democrats and independents, but Republicans,
Yeah.
because they know I've done it, did it, I bought the T-shirt, I've
Yeah.
done it.
You have
Well-
a really good ability to connect the partisan
Thank you.
politics. I do know that.
And
about
you know what? When it comes to local issues, you don't know who might come, might
Through
be
for
on
you.
your side.
That's exactly right.
You know?
Good point,
When it
Angela.
comes to school issues, that's not really a partisan issue.
What about-
gun safety?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
about the likelihood of having metal detectors, too much money? All I ever hear about any safety issues dealing with schools, too much money. There are other ways, and they haven't seemed to be explored. What are you bringing to the floor on that? Or
Well,
your
I'll tell you,
suggestion?
Janet Cruz has been working on this we've got lead in the water in some of these older schools.
She's been big on lead.
She has been very big on lead. She's done a great job at bringing money in, private money. The Vinicks have
Just so you
donated.
know, Janet Cruz is a state senator.
Yeah.
Yes, she is a state senator. So she's done a really good job on that, which I think we've got to explore on that. I believe that we have to look at more gun safety initiatives. I'm not saying I want to take away anybody's gun. We're not going to get rid of the Second Amendment, but we've got to be smart about this for our future.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those issues is banning assault weapons. And 80% of our population agrees with that. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, banning assault weapons. Do we really need a gun that's just going to boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom?
But we got a problem with getting some of these ideas through in Tallahassee.
That's why we need to change. We need change.
We got the, do they still have a supermajority up there?
We have to flip 14 seats.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
14 seats, people, we can do it. And I think I'm ranked like 7th or 8th, so I'm in that realm. We've got a lot of organizations, Flip Blue and others, that see us now as a flippable seat, where when I first
Yay.
started, they didn't see that. But with the money
Yeah.
we've raised, the volunteers that we've got,
Yeah.
and all the initiatives that we're doing, they are looking at us.
There's a lot of people who know Julie Jenkins.
And I'm going to just say one thing before we go to break. We have to pay the bills. The NRA, Marilyn Hammer, bigger than life, still paying a politician, still, putting their money towards getting people elected that are not going to change laws. So I would like to see
Yeah,
something
the
to
NRA
be
has
done
money,
about
and they're
lobbying.
out there, and they are paying off politicians.
Yeah, it's been a sore spot.
It's a nonpartisan issue, our children and our community getting shot. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot of people that want to take a look at it.
Good. We need partisan participation.
Mm-hmm.
We ready for that break? No. Keep talking. Okay. All right.
So some of my issues that we talked about: healthcare, environment, education, and gun safety.
You know, when we come back, though, of course, we're going to get into coronavirus, and we're going to get into police.
Yes, getting the police
Brutality.
department corrected. Are you working with Mothers Demand Action?
Yes, I was actually endorsed by Moms Demand Action. Mhm.
Another guest we had on our show, another group we support and had on our show. So.
Yeah, Shannon Watts, who's actually the founder, actually tweeted out, when we met. So she was excited. I was excited. So
Wonderful. Now, just before we go to break, can you tell us some of the people who are endorsing you?
well, for my kickoff back in January, I had about 20 politicians from, let's just say, the former governor, Buddy McKay, Mayor Sandy Friedman, Janet Cruz, Alex Sink, some city council, county commissioners, Orlando Goods, Mary Ellis Smith, Pat Kemp, Kimberly Overman, Les Miller, judges, Sean Shaw, I think I said the mayor,
Yeah.
Julie Holt, Andrew Warren. I've got pretty much the whole gamut. And then the other people that were on there, it was a total of 100. Those were connectors, as Mary calls them, connectors in the community,
Yeah.
Republicans, Democrats, Independents, who believe The time has come. Let's stop the partisanship and send somebody like Julie Jenkins, who's been doing this her whole life, her whole career.
I think that's a great idea.
Hey, if
Perfect
I was in
timing.
South Tampa, I'd vote for you.
All right.
All right, well, we'll be back in a minute. Okay.
So each segment is what?
We're only doing one break, right? Two breaks.
How many minutes we have left in the show?
Kubo, what have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start
thank
is
you
in
for
the
that.
forest.
It's the
Okay,
most
thank you.
powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals
Wow.
and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Yeah,
Brought
and
to
then
you
she
by
goes
the
into
Ad
the
Council
second
and
break
the
to bring
U.S.
in the
Forest
show. I
Service.
gotcha.
My teacher said that we should have a
I
plan
know
in case of an
Phoebe
emergency.
talks.
We have one.
First thing I'm gonna do is
She'll
grab
go to
a
her
flashlight
second
with
break.
dead batteries.
We're
I'm
not
going
part
to
of
start
the
randomly
second
throwing
break. I gotcha.
clothes in the bag.
Thank
You
you
two will
for
be
doing
hiding
such
in
a
the
great
closet
job.
and
We
Dad
appreciate
won't
it.
be able to find you.
And that's when we
Back up.
both start
Uh,
crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to
We're getting
pack.
all our
Search
points.
Ready
Yeah,
Kids at
everything.
nyc.gov
Yeah,
or call
it's perfect.
311.
All right.
Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency
We had
Management
about
and the Ad Council.
1,200 in our
Welcome to
first
Calvin's
year.
Barbershop.
You all
which
gotta
I think
see
is
this.
impressive.
I don't even
wanna
It's
know
not
what you're
really
looking at on
advertised.
that phone.
Well,
And
you
so
should. I
basically
was learning
coming
about
to
the
this
dangers
vehicle
of high blood pressure
and
and that
her
we need to
website
get ours
and
checked
her
regularly.
people
High blood
Facebook
pressure
page
can
and
increase the
mine,
risk
so.
of heart attack or
Are you
stroke,
gonna
but this
send
text
whatever
program
you
can
do? I
help
just
keep it at a
so.
healthy range. Just text
Angela will do that.
barbershop
Make
to
sure she has all your-
97779 to sign
She's
up.
great about
Get
that.
right on it. As soon as I'm done with this baby panda
Yeah,
video.
we reached out to
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies,
Kind of vibrated.
like the storm.
Have you guys
When
heard
it
he might
kicked
run
in,
for,
we had a plan.
Tom Lee's
We were
team?
able
I'm
to get in
rumor.
touch with each other in no time.
How to find each
She
other.
did?
The whole
You said
experience
you ran
was
last time.
Was the
fine.
most
Oh,
frightening
you
10
know what I
hours of
heard?
my life.
Sam?
If there's
And
one
then they
piece
were
of
talking
advice
about
that
that
offers
Roswell.
most
Turned
out
it
there,
down.
it's to
Pamela,
stay
did you?
calm and keep to this message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, we're back. This is our second half of Tampa Bay Politics. And just remember, if you are so busy that you can't keep up with what's going on in Tampa politics, please turn into our show, especially during election year.
We do the hard work for you, as Angela is known to have said before.
There's nothing like seeing your ballot and not knowing who the heck the people are.
Yeah, and we've included some judges, and maybe we'll get some more judges and folks that I know nobody knows the judges. If everyone's
Yeah.
like, I know all of them,
Yes.
that's not true.
That's not true.
That's
And
not
they
true.
are
You
important.
may know one or two, but we've got to really know who each and every candidate is. We can't just be lazy voters anymore. We can't just tick off marks that, just to fill in the
Okay,
blanks.
Sounds like a good name. Oh, I'll get that one.
Can I say one thing? I want to thank you guys for the venue that you do, Mary
Oh, thank
and
you.
Angela.
Thank you.
Without you, people wouldn't know what's going on. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, we've had every item on here. We've had the environment, we've had the water
Yeah.
woes, mothers, guns, big pharma.
But we are
if
so
it's a
happy today because
issue,
we
we're doing
have Julie Jenkins, who has stepped up to be our next state rep.
yeah.
In what district?
District 60, Florida House of Representatives.
What
Yeah,
does that
yeah.
encompass, please? Where is it?
It starts in South Tampa, downtown, Palm River, Apollo Beach,
Ooh, Palm
Ruskin, and a little part of Town and Country,
Really?
down to West Chase. So we sort of hug the water the whole way.
I
A water
see.
Yeah,
hugger.
I'm a
Oh,
water hugger.
I like that.
I didn't realize that your,
You
your
can use it.
district was so diverse.
Very diverse, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I was
yes.
thinking that was a South Tampa district.
And most people do, and that's the reason that we've had Hispanic people come on board and do PSA announcements, and they're really excited I'm running. We're not forgetting anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you got
can.
town and country, you got Hispanic people
Yeah.
in there, you got
The
black
Muslim
folks in
community,
there.
the black
Mhm.
Indian, the Indian
Yeah.
community from India. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of diversity in
And
that
the
area.
one over in Palm River, the Buddhist,
Oh yeah, the Buddhist temples there. The
and
Buddhist
Ruskin
church.
Hispanic too.
Yeah.
Wow, all right, you got it covered.
So, mi llama es Julia. Paquito Espanol.
So tell us, do you have some people coming out on your side in those diverse communities?
We do. We've got a big contingent of people. I've got Scott. Have you guys interviewed Scott Hottenstein?
Yeah, he was on
we
our
did.
show.
That's we got quite a few teachers that are running. We call him Mr. H.
Mr.
That's
H, right?
Yes.
He's
I'm going
great.
on a bike ride with him Friday.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Bike tour.
what is Hottenstein running for again?
He's running for the Florida House 2, and I don't know what
Fish
district
Hawk,
it is.
Fish Hawk
Fish Hawk.
area.
Riverview.
Sefner, kind of a weird easty, northy, Brandon
you see that
area.
name Hottenstein on your ballot. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Check it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. H. But we've met some people through, Amanda Linton and Mr. H, Linda
Okay,
Watkins.
Amanda Linton is another teacher.
Yes,
that's
another
running,
teacher.
Along with Jessica Harrington.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
And she's great. She's been working it for a while. So we try to get down there. We've we did Feeding Tampa Bay down at Ruskin about a month ago, and met a lot of people at that time. So, like I say, campaigning is totally different, but this is something I've been doing all my life, is assisting.
Yeah.
So it's human nature for me to go out and want to help.
Yeah.
Do they do polls in your race at all?
We haven't done any polls yet. There'll probably be some that come up that they'll do for us.
Okay. Good.
They're kind of expensive, so we're not looking at doing any polls as of right now, but there's other groups that'll come in and do it for us.
Okay. Did they give you any idea what your chances are against your opponent?
Well, when I first was thinking about running, I had people that wanted me to run, and I wouldn't be in this if we didn't think we have a chance, and we've got a really good shot at this, so get out and vote, people, and support us. But Hillsborough, as you all know, is starting to lean more blue. My seat is still red, but it's only red about 5 percentage points. Now,
Oh,
Deborah
They call it
Bellanti.
purple now, right? The
Blurple,
mix
yeah,
of
blurple.
Blurple.
Blurple, blurple.
Yeah, she's going blurple.
Deborah Bellanti came very close. She came within 5 or 6 percentage points.
Okay.
The blue wave almost took her over. So you've got Republican, Democrat, and Independent. That's how it trends. Hispanic.
So it's kind of like 30-30-30, you think?
Yeah, it's close, but it's still 35 more Republican.
Are you
than
finding
Democrat.
the Hispanic vote to be Democrat or Republican, or not voting at all? What's going on with my Hispanic family friends?
Yeah, the Hispanic family friends, I would say it's about half and half. You've got Democrats, you've got Republicans,
Okay.
and then a few. But
That surprises me that you have any Hispanics that are Republicans.
Well,
I
you know,
know.
you have a
Outside
lot
of the Cuban,
Cubans.
but that's different. There's
Yeah,
not a lot of
do
Cubans in
run
Ruskin.
Republican.
There's Mexicans. Our community has more Mexican Americans than the Cuban Americans. We have them, but not in Ruskin as much. You're looking at West Tampa, conservative, yeah. But
Yeah.
I live in Sefner,
right.
so my mom was a bilingual educator, my mama. So Ruskin at one time was a lot of Mexican Americans, and now it's being kind of taken over by people with a lot of money that can buy nice houses.
Right.
And
And-
it's a problem.
Out in Waimama, you got the Latino Women
Yeah,
Enterprises.
yes.
Enterprising Latina.
Enterprising
Yes,
Latinos.
yes.
That's a great group too.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. And they're on your team?
they're with me. Yes,
Good.
they're with me.
Excellent.
Some of them, I haven't met all of them, but once I meet people and they hear what we're doing and my background, we pretty much got them.
Good.
Hey, can we talk about transportation?
Yes.
Oh, transportation for all.
Let's talk about All for Transportation. I truly believe All for Transportation, over 60% of Hillsborough County residents voted for that, people. We don't need to do a poll to know, do people want it? We know we wanted it. We all voted for
We
it.
voted for it, and they think we're stupid. I hate when they negate our vote.
All right, let's talk about what's going on. The people
Yeah.
voted.
The people
money
voted.
for transportation. Then we had one of the Hillsborough County
County.
Commissioners,
Yeah. File a
Stacy
lawsuit.
White.
Filed a lawsuit and with Jose Oliva, Speaker of the House, and truthfully, I think it's dead in the water, and I'm sorry to say that.
You think that what's dead in the water?
I think we're not going to get our All for Transportation. I think the Supreme Court's going to rule it down. So,
Because the governor put all of those Republicans on the Florida Supreme Court.
Yeah.
yeah,
Vote blue.
They're
And-
not on our team.
and so our representative for District 60, where has she been on this for her constituents? Crickets. Nothing. Now, if you're a representative for the people who voted for over 60% of that, I would assume you'd be out there fighting or talking to, Jose Oliva saying, please, we voted for this. And there's crickets. So nothing's been done. Another thing in our area too that's kind of important, have you guys heard about the tree cutting?
Oh yeah. The
Okay.
big snafu there.
I have not kept up on the tree cutting issue.
Well, it's primarily a big South Tampa issue because you can imagine all the different house builders and different people coming in. They want to cut trees
Yeah,
at
they
plant.
want to destroy everything when
Yeah.
they come in to build their McMansions.
60 trees they wanted to cut and plant.
Yeah.
And my opponent voted for a bill, HB 1159, to cut trees. I wouldn't have done that. So that's an important issue,
Well, the oak trees are protected. They're a protected species of plant. They provide oxygen. They help with pollution. They afford shade, and they're iconic. I think the oak trees everywhere in the state of Florida are iconic, and I'm so glad they're preserved.
We don't want to get rid of our tree canopies for sure.
Yeah. They keep your house cooler. They help with your
Yes.
bills. I know
And
it
how can
sounds
we
simple.
replace them?
They're
old
irreplaceable.
trees.
You're absolutely
Well,
correct.
the people in South
Absolutely
Tampa
correct.
stopped them from cutting at Plant High School.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now, should we talk about police brutality?
Yeah, let's get on it.
Okay.
So when again, hopping into that tasty frying pan that you're joining with all these issues, what do you bring to the floor about the police department that we're currently trying to reprogram, refix,
How do you feel about the
Yeah.
Tampa Police Department?
Get in
you think
there.
we're suffering from systemic racism, the same thing?
Not maybe so much Tampa. I will tell you, we do have systemic racism. We do.
I think
Con-
all police
con-
departments do. I think the system does.
Right, country, the whole country.
Nationwide.
And nationwide. And I will tell you, I think for the time right now, I'm glad that we have someone like Andrew Warren, Mayor Castor, because where she's come from and what
Yeah.
she's trying to do. And our chief of police marched with a group, and the Temple Terrace chief of police marched with a group. I marched at the Cyrus Green. I'm never going to say to my African American friends, hey, I know what you're going through. I don't. But I'm there for them. I'm there to help them. Obama's got the Obama 8 initiative that just came out a few days ago.
Tell us about that.
Well, I've just heard about it too coming out, but it has
Okay.
to do with, training
Yeah.
and the Fraternal Order of Police actually have been asking for this for years. Training system-wide, nationally, so
Yeah.
everybody knows what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do it. I actually think the social workers coming on board with police would be great because
Yes.
we all know there are great police and you got bad people, just like in any organization. But if you have the proper training, which they need to do the proper training, there should be no chokeholds, there should be nothing.
Yeah, that's quickly
nothing.
There
dissolved.
should be de-escalation.
Yeah.
De-escalation.
And good ways to do that is hire more women. Women
Yep.
escalate things quicker. Send 2 female cops.
Yep.
They're less likely to murder somebody and use violence. So we need more women.
Yeah, especially if somebody is sleeping in the Wendy's drive-thru.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
just
that's-
shoot and kill you instead of take you home and say, sir, we know you can't drive.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
And speaking of women, Mary, and that's so true, there's a woman cop that was fired
Yeah.
after 19 years because she tried to stop a
A
fellow
chokehold.
officer from,
Really?
chokeholding.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. They have some kind of weird immunity. She asked the officer, her peer, to quit choking him out, and she got fired, and she went on record saying it was the best thing she ever did.
Yeah.
Now she's getting into a civil lawsuit about it, and they're looking at the police immunity.
Where did that happen?
Forget.
Yeah, I
Oh, it
forget.
wasn't Tampa.
It just
No, no,
it just came out in the
Okay.
news.
Yeah.
But hopefully she'll be reinstated with her pension. She only had 1 more year.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
what she did is she stopped, just like for George Floyd, same
Yeah.
thing. Somebody should have stopped that of the police, of the 4 that were, the 3 that were
Well,
there.
and they're going to town with them. They're not off the hook yet, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But we always hear that. There's 14 murdered black men the people who murdered them have never been sentenced.
Right, and that's
By
another.
a court of law, they get off. They walk scot-free. This has fueled a
Well,
lot of
with
the
people in
anger
the streets,
we're dealing
things
with
are
now.
changing.
Yeah, things are changing, and that's one of the Obama aid initiatives too. Is just like anywhere else, if you're a pilot on a plane and you did a wrong type of landing or you didn't do what you're supposed to do, a protocol.
Yeah.
This is what we've got to do with the
Yeah.
police too. If a police officer has been written up for XYZ,
Yeah.
then it goes.
18 times.
That's going to stop. I think. I don't think
Well,
that'll
they're
happen
starting
anymore.
the national
The
data
national
bank. Even
data
President Trump said that he
Yes.
wants a national because what they do is they mess up in Tampa and then they go to Utah and they get a job and then they leave
Right.
people in their wake in Utah and go to New York. So they job hop, you know,
Yeah.
and they're criminals
So-
and they do not belong in the police force.
I totally agree. So there's a lot of initiatives out there that we've community policing. We know community policing is wonderful.
Yep,
We've got some
we
great.
grew up with it.
Yeah, and we've got some great cops over in East Tampa and some of these schools all over our
Yeah,
town.
absolutely.
The policemen are great. So we need to work on
That
the
was
new
my father's
initiatives.
first possession. Yeah, police
Yeah.
officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In America or
In Barbados.
in Barbados?
Mhm.
Yeah, her dad was from Barbados.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see people out marching. It's like ERA. We're one of the few states that don't have ERA. If it would have been passed this year, we would have been the 38th state. Well,
That
guess
would be
what?
the Equal Rights Amendment for women.
Yeah.
For women and actually anybody, it's for everybody, and that's how it should be for our black friends and people too. I'm
I'm
just
a black friend.
yes, you are. But
You're my black friend too.
I'm just amazed that in 2020 that we are in the situation that we are. It's sad.
I'm
It
not.
is,
I'm
it
not.
is.
I'm not.
My
But-
mother is 94 and she can't see it. Well,
Yeah.
we've had some major changes during Martin Luther King's time, but
Sure.
as far as lower, it's people on the lower end of the spectrum really have not been changed.
Yeah, it's
But the time has
again
come.
back to systemic racism and everything and politics.
And we are hollowing out the
Police
middle
force?
class.
Yeah, it's
You know,
not
the
good.
have and the have-nots.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's going to change. It will change. We've got too many people. I mean, on the marches I've been on, I'm sure you guys have been on. I mean, there's all colors out there, and I'm
Yes.
so happy to see so many of the
The
young,
young people aren't
the
having
white
it.
Caucasian. Well, you know what? My children are in their 20s.
Uh-huh.
They don't look at it like they look at it. We're all the same, which is how it should be.
Right.
And so I think there's more of them coming up than some of
Yes.
the
Well,
people that we don't know
Two
about.
things, and I just heard this on NPR as I was coming in. Because this is now a white-backed movement, change is going to happen.
Yes.
The African American population could not do it on their own without having allies, and they know that and they understand that. The second thing is, it's not done when you put down your poster board. And I hate to say this, I think it's fun because protesting is an activity. You could show up, you take a selfie, you can tell your friends you're supporting
Mhm.
people. But when that's over, you still need to become a social justice
You need to
activist.
vote blue.
But you also have,
You're good. You're good on that.
you also have to do the work. Color of Change, Mothers Demand Action, all the organizations you've been working with, you
Mhm.
work with, and I work with. I'm a social justice activist, just like you ladies, 365 days out of the year.
Mhm.
It doesn't end when you put down the
I'm with the
placard.
Democratic Black Caucus.
Yes,
Join the
ma'am.
group. Join
Yes,
an
ma'am.
I just filled
organization.
out paperwork for you.
Good. Because
So-
we want to get good.
Yeah.
If they're not black candidates, then we want to support like-minded people.
Absolutely, and I put it on my Facebook every day. Once you put down the poster, protest poster, it's not over. You know, I was a
Right.
newswoman. I remember when Rodney King happened, and the
Right.
same exact thing happened. The same riots, the same unrest. This has been going on way too long. We don't want to wait. When we put down those poster boards and do nothing, you're going to see another black
So,
man
Julie,
or
when you
woman
think
will
they're
be
gonna
murdered
stop
by the cops.
walking in the streets?
They'll be murdered by the cops.
I don't know. You know what? If we didn't have that killing of the gentleman at Wendy's who fell asleep,
Yeah.
terrible.
I know.
Um,
What a mess.
It is a mess, and Trump's finally come out and said something after 30 days.
Yeah.
But that Obama aid, everybody should look at. That's something else. And like you say, we can be an ally to the Black Caucus, to the black people, the white people. We've got to all step up to the plate and help out.
Absolutely.
Just like with our gay community too.
Congratulations to the gay community.
Congratulations on that.
Supreme Court victory.
During Pride History Month.
Yep. So we're very happy about that. But this is one thing I want to say too. With some of the people that are in our legislature now, on the other side,
In Tallahassee.
in Tallahassee, we give us as groups gives them so many opportunities, like the representative that is in District 60. There's a competitive workforce. Well, guess what? It's never been pushed through, but we give them so many opportunities to try, and that's good that they're trying.
Explain competitive workforce.
It's the same thing that just passed locally. You can't
Discriminate.
discriminate against anybody's gender, sex.
Right.
So, okay, same thing.
Different name, same
Yeah, different, but it's Florida's. It's
Florida's version.
Florida's
Yeah.
version. Okay.
So, if you get somebody like me who's an ally, once again, of the community,
Yeah.
I've been in the community for years, you know, people can say all they want. I say this about some of our people in Tallahassee. Watch what they say and watch what they do. They can talk a good line, people,
Oh, yeah.
but does it come through? No.
Look at
Yeah.
the votes.
Yeah.
But if you get somebody like me in Harrington and Linton and H, watch what we say and then watch what we do. We're going to get it done,
Not
people.
only that, what you've always been doing.
Always,
This is not new to
always.
any of you in activism.
Yeah.
Mr. Hottenstein, Mr. H, he was in the service.
Mhm.
He fought in the war. He's a veteran with medallions, and he's paid his dues. Now he's a great school
Right.
teacher. He's a civics teacher of all things. You know, you've all paid your dues. You're all doing the work, and like you said, there has to be a way to get it pushed through in Tallahassee.
And you know, I do say, if it wasn't for good white people, we would still have slavery.
Yep, absolutely.
The civil rights marches and
Yep,
victories that
yep.
we had were due to our white allies.
Yeah.
So we can't
Abolitionists, church groups, the Amish,
forget the Underground Railroad.
the
Harriet Tubman,
Amish,
love her.
the Amish supported white Amish, the
She had many white people who helped.
Quakers were solely against it and stood up. So there, you did have
That's
allies
what we're
all the
depending
way.
on right now, the good
Yeah.
white people.
Right,
Yeah.
and we're going to get it through. We're going to stop this, and we're going to take care of our friends. And we should all live as the same. It doesn't matter what color, what creed, anything.
Yeah.
We should all live equally the same.
And it's odd because when I remember being 10 years old, when the Black Power movement started, you know, the Black Panthers were coming up, Angela Davis, who I was excited to see and hear. It was always, everything was empowering. The women's marches started, the gays were starting to coalesce closer to the
It's a similar
70s.
time.
And I'm like, why are we still doing this 50 years later? I remember that.
That's exactly how I
Save
feel.
our environment. Remember that in the 60s? We all
Me
got
here.
environmental sound for about 5 minutes and we started recycling and then we drop it. And it's human nature to drop it. Like I said about this protest, once they put down their boards, they need to get involved. And it's about being involved. We could
So
have
before we
saved a
go,
lot
we
of
need to
problems.
talk about coronavirus.
Oh gosh.
Do you think it's a good idea to wear a mask?
Yes, I think it's a good idea to wear a mask. I think our restaurants should be wearing masks, and everybody else out there, especially when you're in public. And we should social distance. People, we're going to keep doing this. It's going to just keep going and going. If sometimes Americans are lazy. We need to get like the other countries have done
Yeah.
and buckle up and do what we've got to do, because otherwise it's just going to keep going. So wear
And
your
you know,
mask.
Yeah, and guess what? The virus loves Republicans and Democrats the same.
Yes, it doesn't choose.
Not smart Republicans and not smart Democrats. Okay? They're not picking on the ones wearing the masks
virus
and the
loves
gloves and
everybody.
Yeah.
sanitizing and sanctifying. If I put alcohol, I have more alcohol in my hands than in my belly since this
Yeah.
whole thing started.
And
I
if
got to
you-
drink more alcohol.
And if you listen to anybody, listen to Dr. Fauci.
Okay.
Social distance, wear a mask. It's not that hard, people. Let's just do it.
Yeah, yeah. It's and like I tried to tell people, nobody is a pro on this subject. It's a new virus. It's mutating. It's changing. The basics are: if I wear a mask, I wear my gloves, whatever. I clean up. I'm practicing protocol. It's not going to hurt me. And my allergies have actually been better since I started wearing a mask.
And you probably won't catch the flu either.
I don't have the flu and I've saved a ton of money. I looked at my bank account. I'm like, whose bank account is this? There's like thousands of dollars. Because I'm not whining and dining and spending money outside and blowing it on going to shopping.
I don't know, there's some boxes that keep coming to
Oh, you're
Oh,
shopping
there's
online, girl.
what's
Okay.
going on.
Okay. I don't support Apple because they didn't bring their business to, they took their business out of America. So I have a little personal boycott, not judging you. So there's no free boxes coming to my house. All I get is bills
Yeah.
from people.
Yes, me too.
So what would
Okay,
you like to
Julie,
say now that you
tell
have a
us how
captive
we can
audience?
get hold of you
That's right.
again.
Okay. Hey, I'm telling people out there, please take a look at my website, votejuliejenkins.com. Sign up for social media, share. I believe in healthcare. I believe in science. I believe in our environment. One thing too with our environment, I want to let you all know we were down at the Riverwalk, about 20 volunteers with Tampa Riverwalk cleanup, and this is where the mangroves and all the garbage comes in when the tide goes in and out. We picked up 150 pounds, just a minute bit on an hour and a half that we were there. Can you imagine what else is there? Holistic recycling took care of it for us. We're there every Saturday, so we're living and we're breathing because the environment's so important. The safety and health for our children and our future. And one thing about education, I don't believe we should take our public funded money out of our tax bracket and put it into various charter schools. So we need to keep our tax money there, and if we do, because there's some good charter schools out there, but everybody has got to follow the same rules and regulations as
Hey, if
everybody
somebody
else.
wants to be part of your business tour, your small tours, they need to call you. Can they get involved?
Yes, and actually the community sends us pictures, so you can send us pictures of where you have partaked in business.
Okay, and you can maybe help them out with the video and the events.
Mhm. We've actually went to businesses. The Village Inn, when they opened up, they were all excited, and we took a video there. So we're trying to help as many people as we can.
Good.
So thank you very much, Angela, Mary. I
I'll
truly
see you
appreciate
at
your
the
help.
fish fry. I'm hungry already.
Vote Jenkins, vote blue.
All right.
We're going to change Tallahassee for the better. We're going to work together.
That is important.
Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. Thank you.
All right.
All right, good show.
Okay.
You done?
Mics are so hot. My big
This
old
is